This might be Warzone's best update yet. We got new guns, we got new locations, we got new vehicles. A ton of guns got nerfed and buffed, as well as a lot of quality of life changes. So let's just go through them all. Starting with Caldera Clash, which is a new game mode launching with Warzone Season 2. Basically, it's TDM with some extra things that can happen in the middle of the match. But the game mode I'm most excited for here is Rebirth Iron Trials. If you don't know what Iron Trials is, it's basically a game mode where they give you extra health. I believe you have double the amount of health that you normally do in the normal game modes. Rebirth Iron Trials will be going live on March 3rd. And then we got some Battle Royale adjustments here. So the public events that are now in rotation in the normal Battle Royale are Supply Choppers, Fire Sale, Jailbreak, and then sometimes there will just be no public events that'll activate. The contracts that'll be active in Battle Royale are now Recons, Bounties, Most Wanted, Scavengers, and Supply Runs, which I believe is all the original contracts that we had on the OG map. And then for the loot pool, they are balancing the economy, and then the ground weapons have been updated. We got some Vanguard Royale adjustments here. So for loadout drops, expedited the first loadout drop event from the start of the second circle to when the first circle begins to close in Vanguard Royale only. So you'll be getting your loadout quicker. No stun grenades in loadouts. I actually like that a lot, even though I don't really play this playlist. Thermites are allowed in loadouts now. For the public events, the duration of Fire Sale has been reduced. And then the other public events are Jailbreak, Resurgence, Restock, Cash Drop, and Heavy Weapons Drop. And then for the loot, Dead Silence has been removed from ground loot, which is very exciting for those who play this mode. Stun grenades have also been removed from the ground loot. Thermites have been added to the ground loot. UAVs added to the ground loot. I didn't know they weren't in the ground loot in this mode. An economy rebalance, ground weapons rebalance, and then UAV changes. UAVs have been removed from the buy stations, and UAVs are available as contract rewards. So that's really interesting. I don't normally play Vanguard Royale, and for the people who do normally play Vanguard Royale, I feel like they're going to be pretty upset with this change. For the map, we do have a new location called Chemical Factory. They say this newly named Chemical Factory has a similar layout to the location it replaced, but with several notable differences, including enemy soldiers who protect the facility and a trap that can be sprung in the central building. For those who played Fortnite, we all know they added AI to the map that can actually shoot at you, and if you kill those AIs, they will drop loot, which is something I was not a fan of, and they are adding it into Warzone, which again, I am not a fan of that, so we will have to see how that plays out. But new location, very exciting. Adding AI to the game, not so much. And then they also show here that there is some underground chemical weapon research labs. There is 7 different research laboratories distributed throughout Caldera. So this just kind of reminds me of the bunkers that were in Verdansk. So that is kind of cool. And then we have some new gameplay features, and this one I'm super excited for. They have the Redeploy Balloon, which seems to be the exact same thing that's in Apex Legends. Basically, you find one of these balloons on the map, you hit the balloon, and you're able to redeploy to move around the map more quickly. And then again, the AI units that we were talking about before have been added to various locations around the map, and I do not like that at all. We also do have portable decontamination stations. Stations create a bubble of breathable air when in the gas that lasts 13 seconds. These can be vehicle mounted for new gameplay strategies. Interesting. So basically it's like a portable gas mask for your whole team, which kind of sounds like a bubble shield in a way from Halo. So that is actually a really cool thing they're adding to the game. And they are adding Nebula 5 rounds, which are a new ammunition that gives players the ability to kill enemies and leave behind a small gas cloud that can be used with any weapon type for multiple interesting combinations. Judging on the picture here, it kind of looks like it's going to be a field upgrade, and it will probably be kind of annoying to deal with when someone is shooting at you with those, but I feel like it will be kind of fun to use. We got armored convoys. These are patrolling Caldera, whose armored transport trucks represent a new mobile loot cache opportunity and are shown on the TAC map when active. And then we have Nebula 5 bombs, which are coming in season. This is one of the rarest items in Warzone. This is in a locked briefcase full of deadly gas with an explosive charge. This bomb will detonate after a fixed countdown and cannot be disarmed or destroyed. Its initial explosion deals a high amount of damage in a small radius before the gas spreads outward, where it will hurt any operator without a gas mask. The gas lingers for about 2 minutes before ultimately dispersing or feeding into the oncoming circle collapse. So basically you can just throw the circle's gas at someone, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. That can really help for getting some campers out of a building. So I do like this. We got the new vehicle here. It is a bomber plane, and all it says is take to the skies in this new ultimate armored squad vehicle. It just looks like a giant armored plane, which could be very cool, but could be very annoying to deal with. So we'll see how that pans out. And then they adjusted the loot spawns across Caldera. So they adjusted ground loot, supply box loot, and contract rewards. Dead Silence is now classified as a legendary orange loot. So we'll be seeing a lot less Dead Silence, which is good. And the final circle is much less likely to end on Caldera's peak, which is very good. Some gameplay adjustments. Now they're talking about aim assist. Interesting. So it says while stunned on controller, aim assist will now scale appropriately. It will not cause unintended increase of aim assist strength. So thank God that has been finally fixed. Throwing a stun at a controller player before seemed basically useless. So thank you, Raven Software, for finally fixing that. And another big change with armor plates. Armor plates will now prioritize refilling 1 full plate of armor before filling partially damaged plates. Something that should have been changed the first week of the game, but it has finally been changed. So when you put on that 1 plate, you're not going to be refilling only a tiny little sliver. Players can now exit an ascender with the jump button. Added a prompt to exit an ascender while ascending. I'm assuming they're meaning the zip lines that you zip up, so you can now just press the jump button to get off of it. Gas masks will no longer be auto-equipped when aiming down sights. So if you're in the middle of a gunfight and the gas is coming up on you and you're aiming down the sight shooting at someone and your gas mask comes on and you un-ADS and you get killed because of it, that is super frustrating, and that is finally fixed, which I'm super happy to hear about. Another huge quality of life improvement. Gasoline canisters will no longer be detonated when hit by a stun grenade. They can now be thrown through glass windows. Players are less likely to accidentally pick them up, and kill damage zone is reduced with the addition of fall off damage. In the gulag, footsteps of spectators are less audible. Further improvements will be made here into the season. Mantling and traversal. Increased mantle heights for improved vertical navigation and traversal. Various map improvements to aid traversal and player leading. Various improvements to visuals and texture streaming when traversing on console. Sounds like I can actually mantle on rocks. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Parachutes are now going to be the same speed going forwards as it was when you were going sideways. Can now be pulled at a lower vertical height. Can now be pulled sooner after exiting the exfil or infill plane, and can now be cut when closer to the ground. So these quality of life improvements this season are just huge. A lot of these were a long time coming, and I'm just super happy to see a lot of this stuff. We got some adjustments to vehicles. The fighter plane health was reduced slightly. Weapon damage has been reduced. Fighter planes are no longer able to auto-target skydiving players, and collision has been adjusted to alleviate instant death in some circumstances. They basically buffed the anti-aircraft gun and made the Vanguard vehicles a little bit better and easier to drive. And we got a huge list of bug fixes here, which we are not going to cover all of these in the video. Otherwise, this video is going to be 20-30 minutes long. So I will link these patch notes down in the description if you guys do want to check out some of these bug fixes for yourself. But I want to get into the interesting stuff here, like the 2 new weapons and all the balancing changes. So we have a brand new AR, the KG M40, which is naturally steady and accurate. And then we have a new LMG, which says it is a heavy long-range machine gun, which is cumbersome but consistent. I'm super excited to try these new weapons, which I will be doing on my stream tomorrow morning. So if you guys want to see these in action, make sure you drop my Twitch a follow. Link will be in the description. And then we have all the weapon adjustments, all the nerfs and buffs. So for Assault Rifle Alpha, which is the STG, they have decreased the ADS speed. The C58 from Black Ops Cold War has had its recoil deviation increased and recoil magnitude increased. The Volkstrom Gouvet Claire, I never can say that word right, had its ADS speed decreased. For the handguns, the Clauser bullet velocity has been increased. The machine pistol, the mid damage increased to 16 up from 15. The top break pistol, the bullet velocity has been increased. The max damage range has been increased. The mid damage increased and the minimum damage increased. So wait, this top break buff is actually huge because you can run these things akimbo and they perform similarly to the snake shots, if you guys remember when those were super broken back in the day. And this buff to the top break might make this gun actually insane and a meta gun, so I'm definitely going to be trying this gun out here. For the light machine guns, the DP27, the lower torso multiplier has been decreased. Light machine gun Charlie, which is the Bren, has been nerfed. The left upper arm multiplier has been decreased. The lower torso multiplier has been decreased, and the right upper arm multiplier has been decreased. I don't know if these nerfs are going to be enough, and I'm really sick of the Bren being meta, so hopefully this nerf is enough, but it's just, it doesn't look like it. The M1 Grand's recoil behavior has been adjusted. For the sniper rifles, the 3-line rifle, the ADS speed has been increased. The ADS movement speed has been increased, and the gun bob has been decreased. Movement speed has been increased. The neck damage multiplier has been increased. The Gorenko anti-tank rifle has had its ADS speed increased. The Vanguard Kar 98 has had its ADS speed decreased. The Type 99 has had its ADS speed increased, and the gun bob decreased. And then for the submachine guns, we have Submachine Gun Charlie, which is the MP40, and the maximum damage range has been decreased and the mid damage range has been decreased. So the MP40 is getting a buff. Will it be enough? We will have to find out. The Type 100 had its gun kick adjusted. The well gun, its maximum damage range decreased to 525 down from 581, and the mid damage range has been decreased. Now there has been a massive amount of changes to all the attachments for the Vanguard weapons. As you can see here, I'm just scrolling through all the nerfs and buffs for all the different attachments for the Vanguard weapons. So if you want to go through and read every single one of these individually, again, the patch notes will be linked in the description. If I go through and read all these little tiny changes that they did to like movement speed, bullet velocity, and everything, it's just going to be a 30-40 minute video because it's ridiculously long. But one thing to note is that the bullet velocity for lengthened has been nerfed, but then with all the barrels, they have increased the bullet velocity for pretty much all the weapons, and that incendiary rounds were nerfed. So those are the two biggest things to get out of that. And then we got all the patch sizes. So on PlayStation, it's going to be 14 gigs, on Xbox 13 gigs, and then on PC, it'll be 11 or 15 gigabytes, depending on what version of the game you have. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Here's the web. Peace.